Time now for the Community Wholesale Tire Milestone. This date, 1996, Oakland A's first baseman Mark McGwire hits his 300th career home run off Tigers pitcher Omar Oliveras. He is also here in the house, hitting coach for the Dodgers. Monty, you said he hit 2 off of you?
I think he hit 2.
2. He was 5 for 15 against you. So, all right. Just wanted to see how your memory was on that. A great scene out in Independence today. The Royals and Royals Charities, in partnership with Variety Children's Charity of Greater Kansas City and the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, dedicated 2 fields, including this one in Independence, McCoy Park, for kids with disabilities to go out there and play baseball. A beautiful sight.
If you could be here today and see these facilities and see the kids and the way they were approaching it, the only emotion you feel is how can we do more? I mean, it is absolutely the right thing to do.
You know, every kid should have the ability to play baseball, play sports, and that's a need in this community that hasn't been there for a while. So it's something that was near and dear to our hearts to see the joy that they get from it.
A lot of that money raised during All-Star Week. Monty, you were part of a clinic out there. Just incredible to see all those kids.
It was. I had a chance to attend the groundbreaking last year, and now seeing the field actually being able to put to use, it was really, really nice to see.
And the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation, they have opened ballparks like this all around the country. Cal Ripken Jr., the Hall of Famer, is here in town, and I had a chance to catch up with him this morning. Well, 19-time All-Star and 2 MVPs, and now doing so much work in communities around the country. What is it like, Cal, when you get a chance to see one of these open?
Well, it's one of the greatest feelings you can have. I mean, it could be opening day, it could be playing in the playoffs, it could be hitting a walk-off home run, or maybe even 21-31 when the record-breaking day happened. It's a fun feeling, no doubt about it, and doing it in the name of my dad, the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation. It's really using baseball to get in front of kids and trying to help them and trying to teach them about the challenges and lessons in life.
And you said that the hope was to open 50 of these. It's going to end up being 75. But when you see the look on these kids' faces and they get out there in the field, kids that maybe were told they couldn't do this and now they're doing it, what is that like?
Well, I mean, there's a great ceremony about today, and so we'll all laugh and we'll all smile and we'll be enjoying each other. But again, come back 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now and then just kind of take a peek and see what's happening. Those are the real joys from this field, the smiles. I used to like the reaction I got from signing an autograph every once in a while, where the kid's eyes would pop out of his head and think it's really cool. But you get eye-popping experiences out here on the field all the time.
I want to ask you a little baseball, and of course, our treasure here is George Brett, and there just aren't many like that anymore, or like you. Now the late Tony Gwynn, Derek Jeter's going out, that stayed in one place. Well, will that ever happen again?
Well, I think it's getting a little bit harder and harder. There's a lot of movement, and there's always been a lot of movement in baseball. It's not necessarily just the free agent that decides to go. I think a lot of people would love to have the opportunity like George did, or myself or Tony, to play in one place and play the whole time and put down some roots. It seems to be getting a little harder. We're celebrating Derek Jeter this year, and it does feel like who's going to be the next one to play all these games with the same team.
You broke in 1981. You probably remember this, but your first game was as a pinch runner, scored the winning run on a walk-off against, ironically, the Kansas City Royals back in Baltimore.
Yeah, I remember that very well. Frank White messed with me a little bit. He put a pickoff play on just to see how nervous I was, and I got back and he said, just checking, kid. And so yeah, my debut was against the Royals. My first at bat was against Paul Splittorff. I thought I was going to get a hit, chopped the ball over the mound, and Frank White decided it wasn't time for me to get a hit. He made a great play, but yeah, I always have fond memories of Kansas City, period. It was always a great place to come in and play.
You also tore apart the Royals, a career batting average over 300 against them. You batted over 300 against great names like Saberhagen and, all the big ones, Apier and Gubazah. And then my partner, Jeff Montgomery, he says to me this morning, he wore me out. And then they 8 for 20 with 8 walks. He never walked anybody more. So I thought he was just saying that, but he was right.
Most of the time when I go back and look up the stats, I'm not really happy about those matchups, but I'm kind of happy about that one. Good slider, never gave in, and I think some of those walks were 3-2 sliders that he tried to get me to fish outside the strike zone. But yeah, he was one of the best, and it was always fun to face him.
Well, it's great to have you back here in Kansas City, Cal. Appreciate it, and continued great success with all of the baseball fields around the country.
Thank you so much.
More coming up on Hy-Vee Royals Live, as we will show you the lineups of the Royals and Dodgers next.